Imagine getting your worst imaginable call while celebrating your 20th wedding anniversary. That's what happened to a Northwest Florida family just after Thanksgiving. They learned their 13-year-old daughter died by suicide. WEAR's Samantha Servant sat down with that Okaloosa County family. And Samantha, those parents say their daughter was bullied to the point where she just couldn't take it anymore.
So Payton Raulerson just wanted peace. In a letter this 13-year-old left behind, she said a boy who bullied her constantly told her to kill herself.
A beautiful brown-eyed girl.
Payton, she was born 2011, came in fiery.
With long brown hair to match.
She was always doing something, always seeking to learn something.
Payton Raulerson's family says she was one of a kind.
She's a little bit different, I would say, than most kids. Very old soul. Didn't think like most kids, more intellectual.
Born into a Special Forces family, Payton shared a special bond with her mom, dad, brother, and sister. They can talk about her achievements for days.
She was vice president of the STEM Academy. Loved all things science. She did robotics last year, the robotics team. She did a lot of work the past 2 years with Stagecrafters Community Theater in Fort Walton. She was the only kid that worked the spotlights. She put in over 400 hours in every show.
From the outside looking in, it seemed like Payton had the whole world at her feet.
She loves the school, she loves her friends, or so we thought.
But inside Payton's mind, something more sinister was taking hold.
About a year or so ago at the school, there was a group of girls that at lunch would say, "Everybody hates you," and she didn't respond like most kids. You know, she didn't cry over it. She wasn't upset about it. She says, "Mom, they don't matter. What they say isn't true. I have my friends. Are you sure you're okay?" I mean, we would ask her, "Are you sure you're not hurting? Like, what can we do?" And no, I'm fine. I'm fine. And we believed her.
Even Payton's older sister admired how the teenager handled the trouble.
She took the high road. Even so many grown-ups still can't grasp that concept of giving people attention when they need it, not letting things bother you when they don't need to, but she always seemed to just, I guess, be more emotionally mature than other kids her age.
Payton didn't show it, but the bullying did take a toll. So much so that on December 2nd, while Mel and Eric were at sea celebrating 20 years of marriage,
I get a call to the stateroom. It was about 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning, and they say, "Is this the room of Eric, or Joseph Raulerson? Does he also go by Eric?" It's like, "Yeah, is he there? Yeah, can you guys come down to guest services?" And then right when we get off the elevator, our phones start going off. It's like the service started hitting, and I started getting messages after messages, and he's getting notification after notification. And one of her best friends, I see a long message, and so then I'm thinking something's happened with Kaylin, saying, "I'm so sorry for what happened. Nothing can explain the pain." I'm like, "What?" It's like, "Eric, call Kaylin. Something's going on." And so while they were trying to get the sheriff from Miami on the phone, he called Kaylin, and I just hear him shout out a bunch of profanities, like, "What are you talking about?" And the rest just kind of is blank.
their beautiful middle child, their science fanatic, who they lovingly called Mini Eric, died by suicide. Payton's mom telling us now she's finding out the bully's attacks were far more intense, far more personal than she ever imagined.
Payton knows who she is. She's different. Payton is gay. And that's who she is. And it's come to light that her and a few others have been bullied for that. So much so where if you are of that orientation, you should kill each other off. The world would be better without you guys.
It's just further spreading a super, super hateful narrative that I thought we had already gotten rid of, but it just seems to be coming back and taunting so many people that who gives a crap what you like? Leave her alone.
Payton's mom learning many of those messages came from a boy.
There's so many different facets to Payton's story, but there was nothing worse than hearing from our daughter that she left a note, and that part of the note stated the kid was telling her to kill herself.
And even though they checked in repeatedly,
She didn't really talk about being bullied too much?
No, not at all. We knew nothing. We were with her every day. at the theater. He drove her to the bus stop for 2.5 years so she could attend the school.
Turns out, Payton did open up to someone.
As we're finding out, she supposedly did talk with teachers. She did tell them she was struggling. We had no clue.
We reached out to the Okaloosa County School District and Superintendent Marcus Chambers last week by email, by text message, and over the phone. We had specific questions we wanted to ask about conversations Payton had with teachers and what, if anything, was done in response.
After all, the district's bullying policy states all parents and guardians would be notified if an official investigation is initiated. Here are the questions we wanted answered. If a child reports feeling picked on and it doesn't necessarily meet the bullying requirements, when would parents be notified? Is it the same process? How about when a child is feeling depressed but not to the trigger point of self-harm? How is it decided what parents are told and what stays with the staff? A school district spokesperson told us Chambers' schedule could not accommodate an interview, but shared the following response, reading in part, quote, "When a school employee has a concern about a student's well-being, whether it be academic, emotional, social, or physical, our priority is to address those concerns with care and in accordance with established policies," end quote. The district did not, however, directly answer any of our questions.
What is or does need to be reported to the parents, I think obviously should be looked at also. For example, if my child goes up and expresses a feeling of, feeling one way. If it doesn't fall within a self-harm category, technically it doesn't need to be reported, but depending on the seriousness, should it be reported?
I had another parent reach out and they said, your daughter was pretty and smart and kind and had friends, and if this can happen to her, every parent should be worried.
A student we interviewed in December says another student in the school committed suicide earlier in the fall. Okaloosa County deputies are investigating the circumstances around Payton's death, and the family has an attorney on deck to look at civil issues.
We do want somebody to be held accountable. What that looks like, we don't know yet.
What they do know is their mission.
But is not letting kids like her be forgotten. I've already seen the comments as well about how, she shouldn't be posting on social. She shouldn't be doing this. Do you want us to act like she didn't exist? Because she did.
Payton's family doesn't want her memory buried with her.
We can't be quiet. And it just starts with people brave enough to speak out. It starts with these kids. If you're being bullied, tell your parents, tell your friends. If you have a friend that's talking about suicide, it's rampant in our schools. Facts tell, stories sell. As simple as that sounds, it's the truth. And I never wanted our daughter to be any type of martyr. I never thought that we would be having this discussion with you.
But they are, because Payton's gone. They can't get her back. All they have left are photos and memories to hold on to.
There's still a lot of questions that we have, and all we have to go on is what she left us. And she left us a trail that she hopes that justice can be done. In her words.
Eric and Melissa Raulerson met with the superintendent last Friday to talk about what happened and how they can move forward together. They tell me it was a productive meeting, with Chambers coming up with ideas to improve programs already in place that could protect students in similar situations. Remember, there is help out there. We'll post a list of resources online with this story. In the studio, I'm Samantha Serban.